There we go. It's always important to turn on the microphone. Welcome into the Mourning Benj. Hey, how are you? I am Benj. We haven't done this in a long time. Oh my God, I gotta fix my screen. That looks horrible. So before we get rolling into that, holy shit, that is way off. All right, I gotta remember how to do that. Where is it that we're going to change that part? There's that. There's home. Shit, I forgot how it's done. Because it looks like doo-doo. Is that it? Hold on. I'll figure it out here in a second. Where is my editor? I think that's it right there. So hold on. Thank you for bearing with me as we get this shit started. Should have done this whenever, well, no, I did do this because whenever I was looking at the scene before we got everything set up, it looked fine. There we go. How is that? Probably go up just a smidge, right? There we go. All right, looks better. That's doable. We can handle that. We can handle that, right? So like I said, welcome into the Mourning Benj. This is a podcast full of coffee and bullshittery. News of the strange, the mysterious, and the stupid. I am your host, Benji Wright. So what the Mourning Benj is, it's a vodcast that we do live here on Twitch. And then I take and I edit that down into a podcast, and we put that out there into the World Wide Webs. I do this for my FKC show family, just basically covering shit that no one else covers, right? So if you're listening to this on the podcast side, occasionally you'll hear me talk to people in chat. You might hear other Twitch activities like bit alerts and raids and other things like that. So if you're ever curious about how we do this show, what it looks like live, jump on over to the Mourning Benj on Twitch at the FKC show. What's up, Blades? How are you doing? Been waiting for the Mourning Benj for a while. Yes. 10 to the 20 was going to be here, but he has school. I didn't know if you would make it because I know that you're in college too. So let's get into the stories that we have today. Farting out loud. Doo-doo as a tourist trap. Florida man killed by wild dogs. Remember the update I gave you about having sex with robots? How that's going to lead to Skynet? I've got more of that. How about drinking your cereal? Not as a morning supplement like one of those protein shakes, but as a beer. That's really happening. We've got demon dogs, the new ghost hunters, and then finally, haunted mirrors. I've been wanting to cover haunted mirrors for the longest time because, you know, the old thing about Bloody Mary. If you look into a mirror and you say it a couple times, 3 times I think it is, that she'll show up and kill you. I don't know how that became an urban legend, because if she killed you, then who's to say, hey, I did this and this is what happened? You're not going to be here, so no one's going to know. So let's get into the first story. Farting too loud. This comes from Clay County, Missouri. So Clay County Sheriff's officers with canines were searching for a person that was wanted for a felony arrest. Apparently the suspect hid to avoid police, as they do. They always find weird places. Do you got to flush the toilet 3 times too? Oh, to get the, well, if it's a bloody stool. I don't know if it's a Bloody Mary. Thank you for throwing that in, Malignant. Anyhow, so the suspect hid from police. I'm not sure where he hid, but apparently he farted so fucking loud that it gave up his position. It wasn't even like the dog's ears perked up. It was like the sheriff's ears perked up. How do you fart so fucking loud? And how do you not hold it, knowing that you're a fugitive from the law, that there's got to be a cop around there somewhere that's going to hear that, right? What's up, Wyatt? How are you doing? Good morning, by the way. This other one, if you're ever planning on heading out to the Smoky Mountains National Park, I think that is in part of the Appalachian chain. They're warning hikers about wayward turds, since we're on the subject of flushing the toilet 3 times. According to the National Park Service Facebook posting, they have this little kind of dung beetle called the tumblebugs that basically roll up deer shit into cute little poo balls, and apparently they need this as part of their reproduction. Well, since we're there, I'll tell you how it happens. So the female beetle finds a hot steaming pile of poo and then starts forming a nice little doodoo ball out of it, in which she then lays her eggs in the poo ball and then buries it, but not before letting the male know, hey, there's a hot steaming poo ball there for you, in which he inseminates the poo ball, therefore fertilizing the eggs. They stay in that poo ball, which is a safe atmosphere for them. When the larvae hatch, they then eat the poo ball, and it is a complete circle of life. I'm about to hurl my fucking oatmeal that I had earlier today. This is according to the North Carolina State University research team. They've got a crab hatchery. How do I get that fucking shirt? Crab hatchery. We make shit happen. I'm looking that up as soon as we're done with this. Anyhow, it's a real hatchery in which they help these dung beetles, these little tumblebugs, to develop. They say they're needed for the ecosystem because they keep the trails clean and they aid in decomposition. So there you go. I need one of those crab hatchery t-shirts. We'll put that on the webpage. This I thought was bizarre because I have seen dogs running amok in parking lots and scaring people, and pretty much it's a hunter prey thing. If you run from a dog, dogs are going to chase you. It's just a simple fact of their coding going all the way back to the times when they were fucking wolves. But I did not see this story coming. Out of Florida, Florida man savaged to death by wild dogs. And I had to click that. What do you mean savaged to death? How do you savage to death a person? Apparently he was taking a shortcut home. This happened in Highlands County, Florida. When the man was attacked by a pack of wild dogs, they found his body with over 100 bite marks on it. Bacon Brain, what's up? Gotta love any story that begins with a Florida man. They all begin with a Florida man. It's like a What the Florida story. So 45-year-old Melvin Olds Jr., his body was found in a wooded area where it looked like he was taking a shortcut home. After the attack, authorities set traps around the area and caught 6 stray dogs, all of which were pit bull mixes, which that too is in their DNA, that they love chasing shit down. It was determined that the bite marks on Olds matched the size of the dog's mouth, but the DNA test is being conducted. Apparently it's unconclusive. I would say, well, you got the dogs. You're going to put them down anyhow because they're strays. And they're pits. You know, I think California's outlawed pits. Is that true? Or did I just pull that shit out of my ass? Well, fuck California. Yeah, it's true. They outlawed pit bulls, handguns, and law-abiding citizens' rights. You have to be a criminal. I think it's funny in California that it is illegal for your dog to take a fucking shit on the sidewalk, but if I'm homeless, don't be profiling me. That's rough, though. I have been in a tree stand hunting, and a pack of feral dogs came through running a deer scent. There had to have been about 20 of them. And I was just like, fuck. And they came around the tree. They sniffed around the tree, but, you know, they're not going to climb a ladder. But I was just like, man, I hope they don't look up. Which they never did. They kept on running. So here we go. Now we're getting into the good stuff. We've talked about this many, many times. Google's got that AI that's out there that's getting smarter and smarter. We have no idea how smart it is right now. The whole idea with making sex robots to curb prostitution and cut down on STDs. Not a fan of that idea. Here's another doctor that kind of reinforces my understanding and philosophy of all this. Sex robots with coding errors are prone to violence and could strangle human beings. This guy is I got to figure out what the dude is. I should have reread this. He's a doll collector. Brick doll banger. I should have closed the studio door. I don't know if you can hear that. My youngest just got up. Thank you. It goes right out the door. There is the bathroom, and then the living quarters are on the other way. So we'll just edit that out in post-production. It still takes AI, though, the process of 40 minutes to think. Yeah, but eventually they're gonna speed that process up for an AI. What takes us like a millisecond, it takes them like 40 minutes. Anyhow, Brick Dollbanger, a doll collector, fears that this could happen if dolls and robots are not regulated. This is a story by David Rivers from the Daily Star. Coding errors in a sex robot could be lethal. Doll collector Brick Dollbanger. Is that an alias? It has to be. That's his porn name. Brick Dollbanger fears violent repercussions if robotics are not regulated properly. He believes that a simple coding error could turn AI girlfriends against their owners, because you know it's going to be all dudes, against their owners if they aren't equipped with a fail-safe. So if you eventually program these sex bots to be as realistic as a real human, you're going to want that interaction, that intimacy. And to have that, you have to give that robot free will. And what Brick is worried about is that free will becoming understanding, and then that robot realized, hey, I don't like this. Program in a safe word. Bucket brain, that would be. Like stop. That's a perfect safe word. Ow. That's a great one. Malignant slug. But the government probably already has a Terminator that thinks faster than us. I was hoping these people that were going to storm Area 51 were going to help with the population control instead of starting another conflict. But I was hoping it was going to give me some answers. Where they set the Terminator T-5000 out to just devastate the hippies. I would pay dearly a pay-per-view for that. They're not going to let that carnage be live on Facebook. But somebody give me a link, and you have my money. So Brick was working with the Real Botics and Abyss, which are companies that are developing these fuckbots. And he told the Daily Star Online, it scares me to death if you make one mistake and you have a line of bad code in there, and then it hits this line of where it is just one individual robot. But the problem is that when they make these robots, there's going to be an uplink. There's going to be some kind of cloud server for maintenance and notification. Right, we've got a faulty program. They're always hacking in backdoors on all, updating apps and shit like that on our phones. They're going to do that with the fuckbots. But so you get one that's got a bad code. It uploads that bad code to the cloud server. Now that cloud server is then sending that signal down to all the other fuckbots. And the next thing you know, we've got Skynet. Malignant slug. My ass would be going to Sweden if that was that shit was real. Why Sweden? Because they're too adorable. Even fuckbots would love the Swedes. Love the way they talk. And Swedes would not have a fuckbot. They've got beautiful buxom blondes that are willing and able to take one for the team to keep us from having a Skynet. Because no one fucks with Sweden? That's true. Sweden is like everybody's best friend, right? But a big best friend. You don't know how they're going to fight. You've never seen them fight, but you don't want to push that button? All right, enough of fuckbots. Holy shit. Here's some good news. Good news, everyone. So we got this brewery in Manchester, England, thinking about drinking a pint, but wasting less food. They have combined those two issues. I love this. They've been using discarded breakfast cereal to make beer in a project intended to address the issue of waste. So for the past couple months, Seven Brothers has been using breakfast cereal to make beer. So how this came about, last year, Seven Brothers became partners with American cereal manufacturer Kellogg's to create a throwaway IPA, which was a smooth, mellow beer made from corn flakes that had fallen short of their quality control standards. And so instead of just throwing this out, the brewery and Kellogg's paired together to create a series of beer. They created a pale ale from Rice Krispies, a dark stout from Cocoa Puffs. That fucking sounds amazing right now. So in the past, the Kellogg's factory, what they had done is that they would send about 5,000 tons of wasted flakes a year to local farms where they would be fed to livestock. And according to Kate Price, the company's United Kingdom social responsibility manager, thank you, foreign countries. Fucking rubbing that shit in our face. We have HR, which is just telling you, hey, don't send dick pics to female employees. They've got a social responsibility manager to regulate how to better serve the environment and cut down waste. Anyhow, they now have a small portion of that cereal that is actually being thrown away. The rest is being recycled in a good way. But still, feeding it to livestock is a pretty good idea, you know? You gotta get them off that what they put them on oats right before they take them to slaughter, and that's what makes them taste so delicious. Malignant slug, fuck that shit. I don't even like drinking the milk of my cereal. Oh no. What is my favorite? Like Captain Crunch is great. The Lucky Charms is really awesome. Fruity Pebbles, when you get that sugary, milky syrup in the bottom of the bowl, fuck me standing. Cinnamon Toast Crunch Milk is amazing. Yeah, that's the only way I drink milk. Other than that, no. I told you guys, I always tell you guys, I only drink it if it's brown. It's coffee or bourbon. That's what I do. That's what I do. Malignant sled. Once the milk changes colors, I can't do it. There's so many places we can go with that right now, but we're going to move on. We don't want to get flagged on Twitter for content. We're going back. There we go. So this is weird. You guys know how I love the paranormal. This is a park that is in England. And it is a really paranormal filled park. It's Roundhay Park. There are different shadow people, EVPs that are caught, but it is said to be haunted by a demon dog. A lot of people have reported coming into contact with this demon dog. So Roundhay Park is in Leeds, West Yorkshire. It's one of the most popular parks in England. Not just for the paranormal, but for its beauty. Stephanie Smith was enjoying a visit to the park with her parents and her daughter when she captured on camera what she thinks is a demon dog. In the photo, there appears to be a demon dog that is staring at the man walking up the stairs. I don't know if you could see. It would be, so there's the man, and then right there's that little demon dog. Or it could be a trash bag. It does kind of look like a full trash bag that someone tied at the top. You know, they probably were doing their diligent duty in cleaning up the park after the feral people throw their heroin needles just at random, you know, and then got tired right at the base of the steps and said, well, maybe this kind sir will pick up the rest of the trash and throw it away. I was kind enough to wrap it in a hefty bag for him. Maybe so you would be a kind sir. Or it could be a demon dog. You got to Google it to check it out. What gives you PTSD? The colored milk? The feral people in the park? That gives me PTSD. Or the demon dog. Oh, you're going to Google it, see the bigger pictures? There are a couple bigger pictures that it does look like a damn demon dog. So the creature, which has been described as being around the size of a pony, adorable, is known to scare those who are out walking in the park. Stephanie described the event that I froze when I realized the shadow was some sort of animal. It took me a moment. But then I could see the head, the ears, the tail, and the legs. There was no mistaking. It was a demon dog. It was monstrous, almost like a werewolf, but with patches on its paw. Adorable little white patches. Stephanie claimed that nobody was around her when she snapped the picture. Of course, no fucking buddy. How about that guy? How about that guy in the photo? You'd be like, hey, Jeeves, fucking 9 o'clock. You see that? And then you have somebody to verify that, holy fuck. And modern cameras, what are you taking that with fucking one of those old wind-up ones that you got to take and wait 3 weeks for the film to be developed? You can be like, hey, Jeeves, look at this. You're never going to believe what I caught standing right next to you, a fucking demon dog. But anyhow, since there was no one there to vilify her claim that she snapped the picture, she said, my dad said it was an Alsatian, but it could be just a ghost dog. They do say when you're able to get a glimpse of it as it passes and goes away. So it's in a like a peripheral kind of shadow dog. And somebody look up Alsatian, Alsatian, and what the fuck that means. Yeah, these ghost dog photos just look like camera flash coincidences. Yeah, that's exactly. So anyhow, in fact, there are a number of alleged sightings of this dog monster, not just in this park, but throughout England itself. So since Roundhay Park was built in 1811, several people have caught eerie-looking photos over the years in that area that appears to show spirit activity. One example is that in 2015, a family took a photo of what appeared to be the outline of a woman standing on the steps of the monument. Or it could have just been a woman on the steps. And you had a blurry shot. Does Scotland have hellhounds? That's a good question. I know that they've hunted out all the wolves and cats, because Scotland is north of England on the same, like, they're their own island, and then there's Ireland. Yeah, I don't know if they do have hellhounds. I think they do. So moving on to our next story, I'm excited to see this revival because I am sick to death of Zach Baggins and Ghost Adventure, and you're, ooh, did you hear that? No, we didn't hear that. We didn't see it either because you don't pan the camera around. It's just us seeing you react to shit. Anyhow, Ghost Hunters is coming back. They got a whole new look. One of the ones, I think this started the whole thing, right? The two guys worked for Roto Rooter. What were their names? Anyhow, so Ghost Hunters, popular television series that ran for 11 seasons from 2004 to 2016's plumber paranormal investigator Jason Hawes and Grant Wilson, there you go, co-founded Ghost Hunters, and now half of the duo is going to be part of the revived show. Because I remember, wasn't it Grant that left and it was just Jason for a while? So now Jason's gone and Grant's back. So the only member of the original ghost hunting crew to return to the new episode is Grant Wilson, but he will have a team of experienced investigators to help him out. Wilson will also be joined on the investigations by Dylan Martson, who is a contractor and firearms instructor. Kristen Lehman, who is a hypnotherapist and parapsychology expert. Brandon Alvis, paranormal technician. Mustafa Gattalari, who is the disposer of bodies. He's a historian, actually, and site analyst. Brian Murray, construction worker and former Marine, and Rachel Stratton from past episodes. She's been with Ghost Hunters for a long time. So looking forward to that. I think it's already started. That they had their first episode last week on A&E. So A&E is all over the paranormal lately, because they've got Psychic Kids, Trey the Texas Medium, of course your name's Trey, Celebrity Ghost Stories, I do like that, and the world's biggest ghost hunt. So, which I haven't seen that one, but I have seen Celebrity Ghost Stories. This story I've been really waiting to get to. So happy about this. How about Aleister Crowley's cursed Loch Ness home being reopened as a fuck retreat? Thank you, Brett Tingle, for writing this article. Oh my God. So Aleister Crowley, occultist, phenom fave of Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin, has a Boleskine house. Is that Boleskine house? Reportedly cursed. It's a Loch Ness estate where Crowley famously conducted Satanist rituals and black magic ceremonies between 1899 and 1913. Been the subject of lore and legend for decades. Jimmy Page actually bought that house and lived in that house for a while. So after Crowley sold the house in 1913, its next owner committed suicide by shotgun. Jimmy Page bought it, and the caretaker hired to oversee the estate reported that the house was haunted and cursed. So I don't know if Page actually lived in it or just vacationed in it, or maybe just bought it just, because of the lore of what that the Led Zeppelin was very cultural and Satanistic. Charles Manson, I believe, owned Crowley's cane. I could see that. That crazy motherfucker. I don't know who would be crazier, Charles Manson or Aleister Crowley. I think Crowley. It's hard to say. So now the current Boleskine House owners, the new owners, a non-profit organization called the Boleskine Foundation, the Ordo, it's O-R-D-O, Ordo Templi Ornitis, the ODO, that's what we're going to call them, the ODO, is an organization devoted to the Theoma religion, which borrows heavily from the Masonic lore, with a heavy emphasis on mysticism, magic, and fuckery. Ozzy Osbourne did a song I know about Aleister Crowley, not Manson. Yes, he did. Mr. Crowley, boom, boom, boom. Would you ride my white horse? That's code for let's do cocaine together. I learned that from the young ones. So the Boleskine Foundation has announced that along with the new ownership, the site will now promote events and activities to facilitate health and wellness, such as meditations, yoga, and sweet, sweet hot monkey love. I think it's more Catholic rumors than Masonic lore, Malignant. Because weren't the Masons more of a architectural where the lore came from is that they were passing along old architectural technology, right? Or is that the Knights Templar? I don't know. Which one was Nick Cage chasing? They were more astrology and learning the stars? Oh, fuck that shit. I don't believe in none of that. That's fuckery in its finest. You're a Leo, which makes me what? Ooh, a dick. Yes, you are correct. All right, so on to the haunted mirrors. I don't know. I've listened to a couple podcasts where these people got these haunted mirrors and then shit started happening in their studio, in their lives. I don't know if that is hysteria, you know, that you've brought this upon yourself, so now you're, you know, anything that happens bad, you're like, ooh, it's a curse. But there is something to it. You ever been in a weird fucking abandoned house? You ever done that? Where I've done a couple ghost hunts, which is a lot of fun, and it's eerie because just it being a vacant, abandoned building, the memories of what used to happen in this building. Why did they abandon it? And then occasionally you'll come upon a mirror that's just kind of like, it's a window into the, you know, into the weird. So here's a story by Brent Swanser from Mysterious Universe. One of my favorite writers. One of my favorite podcasts, too, by the way. Haunted mirrors and the paranormal. So more and more stories of haunted mirrors are being reported. Mirrors having had legends, lore, superstition, myths tied to them for pretty much as long as they've been around. The ancient Romans believed that they reflected a person's soul, and that indeed many other cultures believed that mirrors had supernatural qualities, such as they could forewarn of death or offer glimpses into some other dimension. If you were to look into a mirror and your image was altered and decayed, that was a sign that you're going to die soon, or someone near you was going to die soon. Many cultural mirrors were used to communicate with spirits. It was believed that they served as portals or doorways to the spirit world. They were some kind of barrier between the world of the living and the world of the dead. So common around the world, and that there is a shared superstition amongst cultures that have never even come in contact with each other, which these cultures insist on covering mirrors at certain times, particularly after the death of someone in the house, in order to prevent whatever is on the other side from peeking in or coming through. So one of the most common types of experiences are figures or shadow apparitions, that as you look into a mirror, you ever feel like you see something behind you, especially like in the morning if you're brushing your teeth, you kind of get a peripheral glimpse of yourself and something just over your shoulder. So these entities and others appear in mirrors as passing. They're just faintly, just in and out. So we have a case just like that from Destiny Golbitz, and this is from the site Curio. I'm fucking nailing the mispronunciations today, am I not? Cuora, Curio. So Destiny is a spiritual advisor who explains one of her cases. So she had a let me go back. She had a young woman who loved mirrors, and she would go around to the yard sales and estate sales finding unusual, interesting mirrors. One day she found a very old, beautiful mirror that went from ceiling to floor. And she just had this sensation about the mirror, that the mirror was calling on her. On a whim, she looked straight into the mirror and asked, "Show yourself to me and talk." I don't think that's a good idea. right? Just because if other people are around, they're like, what the fuck are you doing? Anyhow, so she asked the mirror, show yourself and talk. And immediately afterwards, her family started arguing, oh, by the way, she did buy the mirror. They started arguing. They got sick. The pets got sick. Things started moving and disappearing. That's when Destiny was contacted. This woman reached out to Destiny to help with this situation. She said that when she went in, she found out through a psychometer. I don't know what that is. Psychometry, maybe psychometry is the pronunciation, that the person who owned the mirror was a very negative, vain person. So I'm thinking that Destiny that is her term for her medium powers that she's able to sense out of this mirror anyhow. So they were very negative, very vain. So when the person passed away, the mirror was sold to this one lady, and the negative energy of the spirit was attached to the mirror. So when the lady asked for it to show itself and to talk to her, basically she gave this dark spirit permission to move beyond the mirror and into her life. And this dark, vain, negative person, the spirit, would then feed on the negative energy of the family and create situations that would create more negative energy, so it would get stronger and eventually become a poltergeist. So what Destiny did is that she cleansed the house, came in with some Windex, a couple undocumented friends, gave it a good rub through. They saged, as they say in the pagan world. So once that was done, the family, the pets, and the home was back to normal and healthy again. Another account that Destiny had, there was some alleged kind of shadow person, or maybe even a demon that was using the mirror of a portal. She said that this witness had in his bedroom what was, and you've seen these, the full-length mirrors that go along the wall and cover, usually they're closet door mirrors, but it takes up the whole wall. So it was late one night in his bedroom, and what he saw was a tall, black, shadowy figure wearing a Quaker's hat, stirring a hot, steamy bowl of oatmeal. It looked so inviting. No, it was just a shadow figure, just looming there, lurking. You turn around to look at it, it wasn't there. Look back in the mirror, and it's sitting there. The being was wearing a long black coat and a Quaker hat. He had red glowing eyes. He floated along the floor about 3 inches above the ground, but there was no feet. He was present and totally physical in a three-dimensional form in the mirror, but not in real life. Like, that would fuck my shit up. Right? You're looking in the mirror, you see it, you look back in the room, it's not there. It's like, what the fuck? So then the being asked the man if he would like to join them. Would you like to join us? Offer to me your spirit. I will be your guide for life in return for your soul. And this tasty bowl of oatmeal. I'm thinking the guy said no. I'm good. I had a fiber bar earlier. So the portal apparently, I guess, was some kind of unseen vortex that connected the two places through time and space, from dimension to dimension, from an unearthly dimension to our reality. Or he was smoking meth. Other reports, we got another one from a couple, both of them now. So this I believe a little bit more, because you've got two people that are reporting the same thing. It gets more credit, but then you still got to throw in hysteria, right? You're like, did you see that? See what? And then, it is what it is. So this couple claims to have suffered extremely vivid, morbidly terrifying nightmares after staring into one of these haunted mirrors. The nightmare started when they moved into a rental house with mirrors covering the closet, just like what we were saying before, in the master bedroom. The mirrors were an open portal to another dimension. Fuck! Get on the internet! I don't have a single mirror in my bedroom. I don't have one in this room. I do have one in the bathroom. Just so you, I don't know. You got to have one there to brush your teeth. Make sure you get that last little bit of peppercorn out, right? So anyhow, they had the full-length mirrors in the master bedrooms. The mirrors were this fucking portal, I guess, what Destiny says. I love that. All right, so let's throw in the whole idea of feng shui. If you want to go back to the ancient Chinese art of arranging a living space, so they believe that one should not have mirrors in the bedroom because it causes restless energy. Because then you're just up all night watching yourself jerk off. You're like, this is pretty entertaining. Apparently to the feng shui and Destiny, these mirrors let in evil spirits. So this couple was renting, and because of the mirrors were on a folding door in the closet, it was a rental property. They did not or could not take it down. So, and they didn't bother covering it because they didn't realize, that what they were doing at the time. It does not say how they, if they just moved or how they stopped the haunting. I think they just moved. So there was a time in the 70s that we put mirrors on everything. Remember the mirrors on the ceiling? Whose fucking idea is that? I mean, that would... All right, so you want to, say you're on the bottom and she's on the top and you get to watch it in panorama, That would be cool. But what if, you marry, you've been together for 25 years, you're laying there one night, peacefully sleeping, you got to get up and get to work early the next morning, and the adhesiveness on the ceiling finally gives way, and that mirror comes crashing down and kills the both of you. That is what I worry about. Anyhow, so we got another frightening account of a haunted mirror. This comes from Pagan and Witches. It's a website from a witness who says that her sister had moved into her grandparents' house after the grandparents had passed away, and the place was full of paranormal activity. So let me get this right. From shadowy apparitions to light bulbs exploding for no reason, couldn't that just be, I'm not an electrician, but couldn't that just be more just too hot of a current that would do that? I guess it wouldn't matter because you'd be dead. Oh, about the mirror coming crashing down? What a way to go, right? So anyhow, we got exploding light bulbs, disembodied footsteps. Those are creepy. I hear those all the time. Anomalous odors. So these were pretty common occurrences in Mama and Papa's house. It got to the point where she could not sleep alone at night, and she finally decided to move back home to get away from it. So as they were moving most of the furniture out of the grandparents' house to move her back to her mom and dad's, there happened to be a big, beautiful oval mirror with a white frame. And so this was being stored in the hallway for the time being, along with some other furniture, as the family was loading up her belongings. Suddenly, there was a loud crash as the mirror had just fallen over on its own, and the mirror shattered. Apparently, the mirror did not want to leave the house because after that, there was no more reports of any other paranormal activity. Because once she had moved out of the house and moved back in with mom and dad, they did rent that property out, and those tenants were like, no, nothing spooky, indeed. So there seems to be like this prevalent belief among paranormal enthusiasts that it is best to get rid of mirrors. Don't take them with you. because they tend to attach to properties or to people. So yeah, if you're moving into a place and there's a mirror there, get rid of it. That's pretty much what they're saying. That's weird. I don't know how that would work. I do know that it's called dowsing, I do believe, in which you can look into a mirror, and if you look hard enough, you could start seeing faces appear. The same thing could be said of old picture tube TVs, that if you stare at it long enough, that you will start seeing things. I don't know if that is your mind playing tricks on you or what it could possibly be. But we got another story. This comes from Supernatural Magazine of a witness who claims his experience happened at a haunted bed and breakfast in upstate New York, and the building dates back to 1845. So there was this old Victorian style mirror that happened to come from an old Victorian home just down the street of the hotel. The owners of the mirror had been saying strange things were happening, odd lights going on and off, seeing unknown faces in the mirror, just glimpses of a face as you're passing by. And it just gave them the heebie-jeebies. And so they asked the guy that was doing the bed and breakfast, hey, would you like to have this mirror? You know, ruin your competition real quick, right? Oh, you two are opening up a hotel? Ooh, okay. Hey, would you like to have a haunted mirror? No, I think it was just a Victorian home. That wasn't a hotel itself. But they thought that, all right, this is an old hotel bed and breakfast from 1845. This would fit in with their decor. They probably did not put two and two together that they had a haunted mirror until it went to this new location, and they're like, hey, guess what? Creepy shit quit happening. And the other guy's like, oddest thing happened. So, in which that is what happened, is that the people started saying that they were feeling uneasy in the area of that mirror, that they would see faces, or they would see their own face, but it would be distorted horrifically. That's crazy. So apparently there are also, beyond having this creepy ass haunted mirror in there, reports of previous hauntings in that hotel. So people it's now a tourist attraction, that they come in, they stare at the mirror, and they can see the ghosts. It's kind of like that Disney ride. You ever seen that? Where you're putting in that cart and you start going along and you pass the mirror and there's all these ghosts in the cart with you. I remember being a kid and thinking, that's amazing, and at the same time shitting my pants. So they had some paranormal people go in and investigate the mirror and the house. They had a group of 6 come in, and after a few minutes, someone suggested that why don't we call out some of the names of the haunted people as we look into this mirror. And they sit there, and I think they stared all together for about 5 minutes, and faces started to appear, and they started taking pictures of the mirror, and of course it didn't show anything. They did it without a flash because any fucking idiot would realize if you got a flash, that's the only thing that's going to develop. But they were able to take a couple pictures of the mirror without the flash. They didn't get anything, but as they went through some of the pictures of who they thought haunted that hotel, they were able to identify some of the faces of the people in that mirror. Right? Kind of like a haunted lineup. It kind of looks like, I think it is. It was that guy. Nah, that's hysteria. They did have an interesting one where they had a hold on, let me find where I was at this. So they had someone stand in front of a mirror, So the first thing that occurred was that my hair, which was very long at the time, so I'm taking it was a female, seemed to be getting shorter by my face, and my face began to transform in its features as I stood motionless in front of the mirror, in front of 5 other witnesses. Seated on a bed to my left, a strange transformation happened. Over the next few minutes, the image of my reflection made a change to a 58-year-old man. That would be creepy. If you're a young girl and then all of a sudden you turn into an old dude. Everyone in the room was fascinated with the strange image in the mirror of the apparition. Everyone was sitting quietly, transfixed on the image, while I stood motionlessly, staring straight into the mirror, not moving a muscle. Suddenly, the image of the old man turned and looked straight at the people on the bed and mouthed words, trying to communicate, which then freaked everybody out. And they're like, "Fuck this, coffee." Yeah, that would fucking freak me out. If I'm sitting there staring at a mirror and my face starts transforming and I don't move and my wife's like, "Do you see that?" And then my head in the mirror turns and looks at everybody. Yeah, no, fuck that. Hello, 10 to the 20, how are you doing? Just got out of class? Stuck in bumper to bumper traffic? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, no, fuck that. Spooky Tales. Many accounts. A bizarre paranormal phenomenon blamed on mirrors. Hauntings. Considering all these stories, is it hysteria? Is there something to it? Have you yourself ever seen something? I have seen shadows in my peripheral in the mirror. I think it happens like once or twice a year, but haven't seen an actual face. But where does all this lore come from when you have cultures that share these same phenomenon but have never had contact with each other to pass on these lore stories, right? To pass on these mysteries surrounding mirrors. How does that move from culture to culture? No matter what the answer is, it's pretty cool. Have you ever done it? Bloody Mary. Or Candyman. That was a great movie, by the way. I would be interested to see if anybody does have a ghost mirror. Because if you listen to what is the name of that podcast from the Nerdist? Bizarre States. They have a haunted mirror, and no one in the building will allow them to store that mirror in their office. So it sat in the host's office for a while, and weird shit started happening to him. And eventually, she didn't know how to get rid of it, so she just took it out and threw it away. That'll piss a ghost off. But that'll wrap up the Mourning Benj. So thank you guys for hanging out, interacting with the stream today. If you want to, and you're listening to this on podcast form, please, if you've been entertained, jump over to iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, was it BeanPod? Give it a like. So it's not for my vanity. It is because all of these podcast deliverers have this weird algorithm that is clicked on votes, not on downloads. So unless you vote for it, it won't promote it. So it just helps me and any other podcast that you like get noticed and get discovered. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, at either Benji Wright, the Mourning Benj, or the FKC Show on Twitch. Best way to contact or interact with me is on Twitch, Twitter. We also have a Discord. I invite you to jump over there where it is just us. Everyone that is involved with this stream, that for the vodcast and the podcast, And so you get an insight of when we're gaming, what we're doing outside of gaming, when we're going to do the podcast. If you have a cool story, that's the place to put it. And with that being said, I would like to thank everybody that has so far been supportive and really helped develop and keep the channel rolling. Avid, VH, Parallelogram. Had to spell that out phonetically so I wouldn't fuck that up. Go find yourself. Goose Mayo. Names. Cody 12. Mad King Kiwi. Morris Codex. Redneck Tech. Stinky Pete 9. Tony 1 Kenobi. True Individual 90. Blades. Malignant Slug, because a lot of those people that help support my stream, he gifted those support to them, so I do appreciate that. Check us out on Twitch at the FKC Show, and we'll see you next time. I'm going to shut down the stream for just a second so we can pop back up. We'll leave chat running so you can put in a vote of what we're going to play. If we're going to do retro today, I was thinking of doing Ghosts and Goblins. Or if we want to do 15 of, do the hot NES, 15 of each, where we vote and play. That went horribly wrong the last time we did that. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you, guys. There we go. There's my good nights. There's my good nights. And we will see you next time. I should have done that earlier. Fuck.